This is the Hub Podcast.
You could call him a lunatic, but I'm going to call him brave. Dan, the man, he decided to get a little creative with some balloons as a PR stunt for his business, All Clean Natural. Dan, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. It was a very interesting read about your story. You got creative with some helium, balloons and a chair. Can you tell me, what did you pull off?
Yeah, and you said hero or lunatic, and I've actually kind of adopted the name Balloonatic.
Balloonatic.
So what we pulled off is I strapped 120 helium balloons to a $20 lawn chair, flew 13,500 feet over the city of Calgary in Canada, and then tried to skydive into the Calgary Stampede, which is the biggest outdoor event in the country that year. Well, I had an airplane banner circling the arena with my company's website address, company and my logo, and I was trying to come down in sync while the banner's going by. But I missed by about half a kilometer.
Still, I don't care if you missed by 10 miles. What a feat. What the hell was going through your head when you were up that high in a lawn chair?
Well, right before we took off, there was about 30 people doing a countdown from 10, and during that time I took in my entire life and asked myself, where have I gone wrong? But after that, I realized that I have to be pretty focused for the rest of the flight or I'm probably going to die.
Was there any point when you were up there and you thought, okay, my life is over, this is it, I'm done?
The first 3,000 feet and then the first 3,000 feet in the chair are the worst because you're not high enough to pull the parachute if anything goes wrong, and we didn't really do that much testing with the chair because there was a helicopter above us while we're setting it up, so we got pretty rushed. And then right before you land under the parachute is really dangerous because you don't know which way the winds are going, and your parachute could collapse right before you land.
It's insane. I'm just thinking of the logistics of pulling this off. How much would it have cost you, or maybe you have a figure in your head, to get all those helium balloons and strap them to your $20 lawn chair?
So the helium by itself cost about $12,500. The balloons were $2,000. The parachute with the whole stunt altogether with the parachute, the airplane banner, and everything cost about $55,000.
Wow, that is some costly PR stunt, but obviously it's working. I'm going to ask you...
It certainly did work.
All across the world you're being talked about, but let me know the company that you're promoting.
It's All Clean Natural, and we manufacture and market natural consumer goods like toothpaste, without fluoride, aspartame, and just natural, safe products. Because life doesn't have to be as dangerous as that stunt.
When you come down, what happens next?
So I got, right when I landed, I was pretty close to a highway that I ran to. I almost got into this random person's car, and then I was picked up by police.
Oh,
you can imagine the police basically picked me up running down the side of a highway with a parachute in my arm downtown.
I'm just trying to visualise it in my head. You call yourself self-proclaimed balloonatic. Would you call yourself a professional now after trying this? Are you advising anyone else heading up into the sky with loads of helium balloons?
I don't want to feel responsible for what happens to anybody else, so I'm not going to give anybody my opinion.
How many feet were you in the air, Dan?
I was roughly 13,500 to 14,000 feet right before I took off. When I was up that high, I just ditched the chair. I said one small step for man, one giant leap for All Clean Natural. Did a double flip out of the chair, pulled the parachute, and tried to make my way into the Stampede.
Do not try this at home, kids. But you come down, you get arrested. You've received negative press, and you've got people absolutely loving your work. You've done it to promote your business. But do you think it has had the reverse response, or is all PR good PR?
All PR is good PR unless it's something really terrible. This is obviously controversial, but we certainly get a lot more people that like it than don't.
Can I give you a line, and you can tell me, is this accurate, from the hearing over your court case? There was nothing fantastic, fun or exhilarating about it, as the offender was quoted describing it. It was dumb and dangerous. Did the judge say those words?
Yeah, but that's how does he have an opinion if he wasn't up there?
How does he know how you felt at 13,500
I
feet?
was exhilarated at the time.
I could imagine you were. Dan, you got a little bit of a fine. Can you tell me, how much have you been fined?
So I was fined $26,500 Canadian.
Wow.
But what I ended up doing is donating 20,000 of that to the Canadian Veterans Food Bank instead of paying it to the government.
Yeah.
And then I paid a tremendous amount in legal fees as well.
Do you regret it?
No.
Plain and simple answer. Dan, tell me, what are you going to do next?
So right now we're in the middle of planning. We're planning a stratospheric jump. Do you remember when Felix Baumgartner from Red Bull flew that capsule to the edge of space and then jumped?
Yes.
So I'm working really hard to plan that from a lawn chair right now.
From a lawn chair?
Just to get it into perspective, it took them 4 years to plan that. And I can only start getting my permits now that my court case is over for this one. But we're hoping to launch it by the end of summer in 2018.
So tell me, what are the logistics about heading into space with balloons? Have you any idea how much this is going to cost you?
We have a rough estimate. And like right now, what I'm doing is getting my hot air balloon pilot's license, then a gas endorsement and a radio operator's license so I can apply for permits to do this legally. Because I don't think they're going to go as easy on me next time.
I don't think so.
But the hardest part's going to be getting the spacesuit. Because there's only a few countries in the world that manufacture spacesuits, like the States, Russia, China. India does now that they have a space program. So that's certainly going to be the hardest part.
Summing up, what is the inspiration about balloons or heading into space? Is this something you've had from a child? Or was it one day, it was like, Eureka, I'm going to go to space with helium balloons on a lawn chair?
No, so really for the last stunt, the balloons were just a last-minute way to get up there because I already bought everything that I need and learned how to skydive to do the stunt, where I was just trying to land in the public event while an airplane banner was going by.
Yes.
And then the balloons worked, even though that was just kind of a last-minute way to get up there. And then after, like a few days after this stunt, I said to myself, how are we ever going to top this? And then a few hours later, I thought of this one.
Personally, I thought, hey, this guy, he had this dream from when he was a child, but it was more coincidence than inspired.
The helium thing was the coincidence. It was just a way to get up to do the stunt, and it ended up being the best part.
Dan, for someone that wants to keep updated on you heading into space, where can they find out about you?
They can find out about us at All Clean Natural on Facebook or Daniel Boria on Facebook.
The Hub Podcast. Subscribe now at iRadio.ie.